That would have been the ultimate bamboozle.
The ultimate bamboozle.
I feel like you just did it.
Really?
Yeah, I do. You get me, Ian?
Yeah. You know what? Let's roll an intro. Welcome back to the 888 podcast. This is number 8 with my good friend Seth from Texas. How you doing, Seth?
I'm doing great, Ian. How you doing?
Had a rough day. Today. But overall, we're good. First of all, let's talk. It's been a fat minute. You got a girl at your house right now.
I do.
What's that like?
A little weird.
Yeah.
Complicated.
Let's explain. You want to explain that relationship real quick?
No. The furthest I will go is we are friends. We are very close. But we are not dating. Even though we did for 3 years.
Yeah.
And that makes it kind of weird now. Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's talk a little bit about your major then. What are you majoring in?
I'm in mechanical engineering at UT Austin.
UT Austin. How's that going with the COVID?
Terrible, actually. Yeah. Just like really bad. Just
like bad grades or bad instruction? Like what's the biggest issue?
It's mainly just communication, I'd say is the biggest thing. Like, so I'm actually in Austin right now because I had an apartment, even though all my classes are online. But like I'm down here and that's good. Looks like I'm right next to campus. But like it's so different when all the classes are online and when all the classes are recorded, and like you still get those technical errors. Like a professor will be talking to like a whiteboard for like 20 minutes, completely muted. They can't hear us. And we're like yelling at them. And then 20 minutes in, they go, oh. And then just cancel class and then just do it again later.
Dude, that like sucks.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It is. Like stuff with assignments.
What about the assignments? What about like due dates and stuff?
Yeah, so like pretty much everything for me is done at UT. It's done through Canvas, and there are like notifications on Canvas and like different messaging systems through Canvas. And so like a teacher will like push an announcement on Canvas, and I won't get like an email or any like actual notification. I'll have to go to their page and then go to the announcements tab to see an announcement. And so I will miss announcements for like weeks.
Is your UT email connected to your Canvas account?
Yeah, it is.
Oh. Do you think you could get it to like pull up on your phone?
Yeah, why?
Oh, because I mean, every time that I don't have my school email signed in on my phone, so I don't get notifications either. But I think that every message in Canvas is also sent to your email.
Oh, at least not from, I might have that setting just turned off.
Oh, okay.
But also, I have Canvas on my phone. So like I'll get notifications like whenever a teacher uploads a new assignment or whatever. And so I get a ton of Canvas notifications a day. So I kind of just block it out of my mind because most of the time you don't need to see them. It's just like a teacher messing with the page. So it's kind of hard to be like, this is useful, this is not useful.
What are you doing besides inviting girls who are just friends over to your house?
Inviting girls that aren't friends over to
my
house?
that are just friends.
No, that's the other. The other.
Oh, inviting girls that are not friends to your house, yeah.
this year has been like really busy. Just started sophomore year, and so like all my classes are engineering classes now, and I love that. Like I've always loved like math and engineering, but it's a lot. It's a lot sometimes. So free time is very limited. Um, Weekends generally I'll try to see some friend from past semesters, like hang out with them, just talk to them,
Mhm.
to not be just stuck in this apartment all the time.
Right. What is it?
Do what I can.
My last guy who spoke about his apartment was walking around and did his interview on a phone. Um, do you have a couch?
I do. I do have
What
a
what
couch. It's
what
very
what
nice.
number on the priority list is a couch?
Like -1. I almost never use it.
-1. Bruh. This dude didn't even have a couch. I mean, in or like purchasing, like when you were going through and buying furniture
Oh,
for your apartment.
I did not get the couch for the apartment. My roommate got the couch for the apartment, or it was already here. I'm not really sure, but I would not have gotten a couch. It would have
Right.
been last on the priority list.
Okay.
If I was, I think I misspoke earlier. -1 implies like early, right?
Yeah.
No, no.
I was like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, so you think it's really important to have a couch?
No, 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 no. Like, not at all. Why? I'm in my room all the time, in my bed. Never a reason to leave. I do all my classes in my room, in bed. The only other time I'm not there, I'm where I am right now, which is the dining table. I take like tests here, or if I need to have my camera on, that's generally when I'll go.
Yeah, good
If I'm
little.
feeling more adventurous than just sitting up in my bed,
Right.
which happens too.
Yeah, I've kind of, at least in my classes, for the first few weeks that I started trying, um, I was in bed still, just because. What is it? My parents told me to give my computer chair or my desk chair over there to my sister because she has online class too, and she didn't have a chair and they didn't want to buy a new one, so I was just doing them in bed. Now the dog crate's there. I hope I get my chair back at some point.
I
Some of this,
hope so too, Ian.
yeah. Well, I guess maybe once the vaccine is created, I'll get my chair back.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. That's a big maybe.
There's a big baby.
Fucking. All right. You drive a lot?
Define a lot.
Like, do you drive like daily?
No,
No.
not daily. I would say probably like every 2 days, every 3 days. Um,
Where do you go?
I try to not eat out as often as I can. Um, so just eat in as often as I can. I don't know why I said it in a weird way. But yeah, sometimes I'll go and like get Sonic or something. Like I got Sonic yesterday, and there isn't one close by. And like a lot of times, if I do go out and eat, I'll like walk and go get the stuff. I also have to drive a lot, just going back and forth between Dallas and Austin. That's like the main amount of driving I do because that distance is like just close enough where like it's reasonable to do on a weekend. And so like last weekend, I went back home just cause.
So how many times have you done that since school started?
Twice. Actually once. I did it once like the week before school started, and then one more time
Okay.
now.
And why do you go home? Why do you go home sometimes?
My mom told me to.
Your mom told you to. Your mom misses you. All
She
right,
asked me to.
that's fair
She asked
enough.
very nicely. She makes very good food, and she gives me food that I take back with me, so that's always good. Don't have
Yeah,
to cook for myself.
that was the nice thing whenever I went home. I used to go home like every weekend because I hated the dorms, dude. I should have gotten an apartment.
I freaking love my apartment. I mean, if it was up to me, I'd never leave this place.
Right.
Like it's so great.
Does your apartment have a pool?
No, no, my apartment is small and
It's
not
so
fancy.
cool because every single place that I see that's listed in like my area, lists like a pool as an amenity that I don't want.
Yeah.
Like it seems like I could just go to the Y and pay like what I have zero income right now, so I'd probably be like an L5 teen. It's like 20, it's less than like $20 a month. I know. I mean, I don't know if that equates to the amount of rent that they add in because there's a pool, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that was definitely something that I looked for, was just kind of just the things that I want to have. And it's like super close. This apartment is like perfect.
Do you
It's
have
cheap. It's super close to my own room.
do you have like in unit washer and dryer?
Yup.
Yeah.
Then unit washer and dryer. Got a kitchen. Weirdly nice microwave. Like it's big, which is
Right.
something that you don't think about until you've lived with a small microwave for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So nice having a big microwave. I can fit my plates in there. That's good.
It's a good deal. Yeah. I mean, it'd definitely be a
Yeah.
predicament if you weren't able to fit the plate in the microwave.
That's the situation I was in last year.
Mm-hmm.
The microwave was too small. I couldn't close the door.
Stupid.
It's a struggle of living as a college student, man.
Just you buy.
I got
You
paper
don't.
plates specifically because they were small enough to fit.
Wait, you bought paper plates?
At my last apartment, because I couldn't, the plates that I brought were all too big. I couldn't close the door of the microwave if I wanted to microwave something on those plates. So I had to get paper plates that were like the mini ones, because those were the only ones that could fit in the microwave.
Right.
So yeah, I just used paper plates for a year instead.
Fucking great, dude. Just thinking around it. Problem solving.
Yeah, I mean, I could have bought smaller plates, but I was like, nah.
You know, Target doesn't sell the 69-cent plates in any size other than like a fucking medium pizza. I think that's how big it is. I don't know.
Weird way to measure a size of a plate. But
I couldn't tell you how many diameters. I feel like a foot in diameter is a little too big to describe it. So I'm like, a medium pizza.
Or like 10 inches.
Yeah.
It's like a medium pizza, 10 inches.
Yeah, it's like a medium pizza.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You working?
I'm not working, which
You do-
very thankful of my parents for.
Do you work during like the summers or?
I take classes during the summers. I take summer
okay.
classes, which is kind of like the deal between me and my parents is I'm doing something that saves them money in some way. So like, summer classes so they don't have to pay for those classes at UT, or I get money so I can like, buy my own stuff.
So how does that work? Is it like an allowance system, or do you just ask them for money, or do you just send them receipts?
So I have one of my mom's cards, and I use that to buy like groceries and like food for myself. And like I have personal money from like times when I've worked and stuff like that, and like investments or whatever. And yeah, I'll buy stuff off of that. And like there isn't like a hard limit on it, but I just try to spend as little as possible. Is kind of the thing. Like my parents trust me with it.
We're gonna pause real quick. All right, and we're back.
Technical difficulties.
Do you remember what we were talking about?
Just finances, but I think I was pretty much done.
Yeah. So that's what you got. How much money do you have?
Like me personally?
Yeah, how much money?
I can give you an exact number. Hold on. Give me like 1 second. It's loading.
Okay.
$4,256.49.
That's good. I mean, my freshman year, the first semester of my freshman year, I blew through like $2,000.
Jesus, doing what?
Eating out. Like I would go to Taco Bell and I would order like $20 worth of food.
Jesus, man.
Like every single time I would go, and everything I didn't finish, I would just throw in my fridge and eat later.
I mean, I guess that works.
No, because I blew through $20
Well,
or
yeah.
$2,000 on fast food.
Also a good point. A very good point.
Yeah, I mean, I did some other stuff. I remember one of the more expensive things I did was I treated my roommate and this girl that was on our floor to a hookah bar, and they were like, "No, we'll help you pay," and I was like, "I already did it. It's fine." Because I started school with $3,000, and I was like,
Interesting.
not a lot of people start school with $3,000 and just have kind of money to spend on other people. So I kind of, that was like my vibe the first few weeks of school, and then I realized people don't like that for some reason.
Yeah, I kind of just go with the whole I don't have money. I like to think that I don't have money. And then whenever there's something comes along where I'm like, actually, I do really want this thing, then I'm like, okay, I actually do have money. That's just how I've always been.
When the new Xbox comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you can
I don't
play.
know if I'll buy that. That's a maybe. We'll see. But yeah, that would be the type of
Wow,
thing.
bro, how are you gonna keep up with all the what is it? All the new games. I was searching for contemporary games.
I like barely play anything now. Like I just don't have time.
Just don't have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I have these weird pockets of time. Like it's like I have like 30 minutes to an hour and then, work, and then 30 minutes to an hour and then work. And like whenever I play video games, I like to I kind of get lost in them usually.
Mm-hmm.
And so spending 30 minutes or an hour in a video game just doesn't feel satisfying to me.
Right.
It doesn't feel like an actual thing. So instead I just watch like a YouTube video or like I read something.
Mm-hmm. What do you read?
Light novels.
Light novels?
Hey, they count.
Yeah. Like complex comics.
What's up, Steven?
Yo, Steven, please shut the fuck up. We're having a podcast. Seth's doing something right now. All right.
This is both of our apartments.
Yeah, but it's not like you're taking a test and he'd just come out and be like, "Hey, you want to suck my schlong?" Like, there's a little bit of respect there. Like, if you're doing something, he's not fucking with you while you're doing it. It's a live thing. It's a live show. We do one take. All right, it's not.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm sorry for being so aggressive, Steven. I didn't mean it. Only a little.
I don't think he accepts your apology. Steven's pretty mad.
All right, Steven, suck on my fucking balls, bro. You can take it or not. We're gonna get back to the podcast, though.
Okay.
You don't have anything on the wall behind you. Do you have do you like shit hanging on your walls? Like,
no.
no.
There's a clock on the floor that we might have thought about hanging up at some point, and it never did. It never got hung up. That's the closest thing we have to anything on any wall. Steven might have something in his room. I have nothing in my room.
Right. Do you think that that's kind of... I remember when I moved into my dorm at KU, my roommate had already put up 2 posters. But I didn't really feel the need to put anything up. And most of the decorations around my room, like the monkey sign from my earlier videos and the 2 paintings back there, and well, the 2 paintings were gifts. The medals were earned, but I didn't hang them. So, I mean, a lot of this stuff isn't really like mine. It's kind of stuff that my parents like bought for our family and then dumped in my room. So I don't know. Do you think that that's like a thing that people our age kind of do? Like, do you think that there's kind of a lack of, especially men? I think it's been pointed out on social media as like a meme. What do you think about like just the what's the word? It's like the antonym to, I don't know. Why don't you think we have shit on our walls?
I think it has to do with like kind of at least for me personally, and I feel like other guys can probably relate to this. It's kind of a sense of futility of like putting something up. Like I don't like doing something if I'm gonna have to undo it. And if I put up like decorations and stuff for like a college apartment, minimum in a year or like 9 months from now, I'm gonna have to take it all down. Maximum 3 years. Again, that's if I stay in the exact apartment for 3 more years, which we'll see. And the idea of like putting something up and then immediately taking it back down, or like a couple months later taking it back down, just seems counterproductive to me. Like it seems like a waste of time.
What do you think
And
about
maybe other guys feel that way.
birthday signs?
What do you mean birthday? Like for
Like,
a birthday party?
yeah, like you gotta take them down. I mean, it's not gonna be your birthday
That's a good
forever.
point. That's a good point. Well, I'm not celebrating an apartment.
Yeah, but you gotta
You're
take them
telling-
down.
Yeah, I know, but that I'm fine with because it's for a very specific reason.
Right.
You're giving someone a lot of joy, and I think I'm kind of like the amount of joy I would get by having a poster up is less than like the putting something up and then taking it back down, like than the hassle of putting something up and then taking it back down.
So do you prefer like knickknacks and like toys? Like not really like toys or like maybe not collectibles, but like, like little like even fidget things, like just kind of things that you've collected from like along your life that just kind of remind you of shit. Like that's kind of what I do. Like I've got a ton of rocks. Like I got a rock. It's a pretty cool rock.
That is a pretty cool rock.
But it's still just a rock. Like it's not different from a piece of paper you hang on the wall, but it's infinitely cooler to me than a piece of paper because I can like touch it and it sparkles and shit and it's sharp.
No, I'm the exact same way. Like I have just a bunch of random shit. Like, back at my house, there's a box in my old room of just stuff, of random things. And if anyone else looked at it, it would be a pile of garbage. It's not actually anything. But every single one of those things, I'll pick it up and I'll look at it and it'll have like a memory attached to it. And that's, it. Like in my room, I have a bunch of things like that. Like I have a Rubik's Cube and like, yeah, solving Rubik's Cube, it's fun, but like more so it's like the memories tied to that because I have a lot of memories tied to that.
Yeah, like learning how to solve a Rubik's Cube and kind of, because there is a process to it, right? You're never going to get anywhere if you don't know how to do it. I mean, I wonder like what the percentage of people who just don't know how to use a Rubik's Cube actually can like solve one.
Almost none.
Right? Like
you have to learn how to do it first and then.
Like I was really interested in them as a kid. Like I used to have some, but then I realized that you had to like learn like the different twists that will always get you to like a certain point. And I wasn't about that. It felt like, and it's the same reason that I kind of dislike chess is there isn't enough wiggle room in those kinds of games that allows for like beginners to have a lot of fun, because it's like it's not until you become a master and you're actually planning like 8 steps ahead what you're going to do and like seeing what he's going to probably do and being able to like mash up different kind of different strategies within your own play style because the strategies. And it's like, and then also like your ability to shift into different strategies to like defend better or like attack better. Beginners just don't know that, and they're just throwing pieces across the board, and it's only fun to play with other beginners because everybody doesn't know what they're doing, and because they don't know what they're doing, it's like pure just creativity inspiring like their movements. And so it's like once you realize, and if you don't have a lot of people to play with, because I don't understand this, but things like chess and Rubik's cubes, like they're almost seen as uninteresting when really they're like a Rubik's Cube is a puzzle, and a puzzle's like very like definition, I feel, is something that's intriguing. Because why the fuck would you want to put it back together or like see how
Yeah.
it works if it
Why would you
wasn't
do a
intriguing?
boring puzzle?
Right. And then chess, it's literally a game about war. Like two like different like kingdoms that go together and like fight. And I don't know. Why do you think that these things have like these connotate where people don't really want to play them because they're perceived as boring? Do you think that they like have like a bad experience with them as a child where it's like, ha, look at that fucking nerd playing chess or with his Rubik's Cube? Or do you think it was
It's
like,
extremely interesting that you bring up those two things because, like, so I've been playing just so much chess lately. So, side note, real quick. Whenever we played, and I, like destroyed you like 13 times in a row that one
it's not
night,
what happened,
you
but
on one of the analysis boards, you made a brilliant move. Like the game said, you made a brilliant move. I have been playing for months now, and like every one time I have like a really good game, I'll check the analysis board. I have never seen another brilliant move. It never gives it to me. It's never given it to the opponent. I still don't know how you did it. Well done. Anyway, to actually answer your question, um, I think it has to do a lot with just like the learning curve, because like it's exactly like what you were saying about Rubik's cubes. Whenever you're learning how to do a Rubik's cube, the only fun part is getting closer to the solved state. Like, so you'll get like the bottom ring and then the second one, and then you get the top one, and then you solved it once, and you're like, okay, that was cool. And then you do it again, and it's not as cool. And it gets like, it's not fun. But even like, that beginning, a lot of people, it's not fun to learn like, the algorithms of what does what. It
right,
starts getting fun again once you're good at that and you can see why I need to do the algorithm. And it's like the same thing in chess. Like you need to learn certain basic openings or you're going to just lose every single time.
which
But
is
only after
kind of fucky.
what?
It's kind of fucky for that to be like, it kind of acts as a gatekeeper of itself almost, I feel,
Yeah,
and
no, for
like having
sure.
those
It pushes
concepts.
people it pushes people away from itself
Hmm.
in that. But if you can stick with it, I think that there's something for everyone in like both of those things. Like I've
Right.
taught 3 people how to solve Rubik's cubes, and all 3 of them at the beginning, they're like, I don't know about this. And then you get them started, and they're like, oh, this is cool, and they learn how to do it, and they're like, that was really cool. I really enjoyed that.
Right.
And you just kind of need like a guide for both of them, like someone to get you into them.
So I think kind of a point you're almost hitting on, or what I kind of derived as a next question is, um, almost all media right now is instant. You have instant access to basically all of a season at a minimum a season, right? You could have the entirety of a show at your fingertips, and you have all these different forms of entertainment. You have YouTube, you have Spotify, you have Netflix, you have Hulu, you have any streaming platform, any entertainment streaming platform. And it's a huge shift from how we used to kind of have our entertainment setups, because like we were talking about, we used to have like people used to play more with puzzles, and more people I feel like used to probably play chess, right,
Yeah.
as a pastime. And so and then you do mark on the fact that it learning how to do something, and learning how to do it well offers a sense of gratification that I don't think that modern entertainment platforms really offer. Why do you think that we've kind of walked a little bit away from uh, more complex like forms of entertainment as society moves on?
Because we're impatient.
Education.
Like I personally think that like the long-term learning gratification, like slowly getting better at something or getting good at something that not a lot of people are good at, I personally think that's more rewarding like the level of like feeling good is a lot greater, but it takes longer. It's delayed. And so even if you're getting less reward from like playing Candy Crush or like or a social media app, you get like that little bit every single second. And so you don't have to wait. And so it doesn't matter. Like you're never looking for that greater amount. Like you don't have to wait for it, if that makes any sense.
Right.
That's at least how I've seen it. Like you need to be very okay with just sitting silently if you want to get like good at something, just to get good at something. Like you have to also be able to just
hunker down and kind of practice.
Yeah. Like no gratification for at least a while.
Right. Because it takes work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I see people like one of my sisters, and she won't even pick up a book. Like she won't even pick it up and like read the first page to see if she likes it. That's how averse to reading she is, because she thinks it's too time consuming.
Yeah.
For her. Like, and
the obsession with time is interesting. The obsession with time is always so interesting to me, because like nothing wastes time like social media. Like I say that like I'm better than it. I'm not. Like I'll get on Facebook and like I will just be on there looking at memes, and they'll be like 2 hours later and I'll be like, what just happened?
Right.
But people are like, yeah, no, it takes too long to like read something. Like what how does that make any sense?
Especially since a lot of people spend their whole day just reading like Twitter and Instagram bio, fucking Instagram descriptions, fighting in the comment sections.
That's where most of my time goes, is watching people on the internet argue. Like I don't even interact. I just like read it. And then it's hours later.
It's interesting stuff, you know? learning about what people choose to get angry about. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But most of it is just garbage. It's just one person with like a really terrible opinion, and then someone else trying to be like, hey, your opinion's terrible. And they're like, eat shit. And then it just goes back and forth for like thousands of replies.
That's amazing, dude. Can't believe you spend your time doing that. That's kind of wild.
I can't either. I went on the subreddit, Am I the Asshole, for like the first time at like 9 p.m. a couple weeks ago. And I didn't stop until 2 a.m. And that time went by in such a, like, just a blink. And I haven't gotten back because, like, it was not productive.
You lost 5 hours. Yeah.
I lost 5 hours. It is the only thing that happened. I didn't gain anything. There's no insight into, like, you know, how to handle social situations. No. Yeah, it was terrible, dude.
That sucks, man. I mean, it sounds like a fun night, to be honest. Like forgetting which kind of like, you know, just kind of forgetting what time. You're just getting so in the zone, just so intrigued. I don't feel like a lot of people, I know at least I don't spend a lot of time engaged in that way. You know, like if I like, cause I watch just random episodes of the Joe Rogan podcast like whenever I want, and I'll watch for like 30 minutes and I'll have to go do something. But what was I saying before that? Engaging. Yeah. Even while I'm watching it, I'm always doing something. I'm always like double engaged. Like there might not be a point in time where I'm not double engaged. I can't say this very loud because my parents might hear me. But I text and drive a lot. It's a really bad habit of mine.
Bad habit of a lot of people.
Bad habit of mine. It's only ended up in one accident. Wasn't a bad accident though. I was on the speed decline. It was only going 20 miles an hour, and I didn't hit an actual person. I hit a car, so we're good. Now the car was in front of me, and there were people in it, but I didn't hit a person.
I mean, that's something, man.
It's like, I mean,
I've
you can
never
go
been
on.
that way. I can't multitask at all. Like I can't like if I'm watching a YouTube video, I can't do anything else. Like I'm watching the YouTube video. And like if I pull out my phone while I'm watching the YouTube video or like the TV show, I will completely miss what's going on it. So I just pause it. Like I can't do more than one thing. I am a hyper focused person, but also like hyper focused on like the dumbest shit. Like I said with the Reddit thing, like I can't be on Reddit and also be doing anything productive. And so if I'm on Reddit, 100% of my focus is on like this garbage that I'm reading.
So how many NSFW pages do you follow on Reddit?
All of them.
All of them?
None, I don't think.
None? Really?
Yeah, I don't think so. I follow like 3 pages. I think.
Okay.
I don't go on Reddit a lot.
Not an avid user. Okay.
No, it's just every once in a while I'll open it and get sucked into the hole, and I'll be like, oh, that's why I don't go on here. And then I don't use it for like months. Like I haven't been back on Reddit since the Am I the Asshole incident. And that was in like July.
Bro, I stopped drinking on the 4th of July. And
yeah?
I gotta be honest, I don't feel like much has changed.
Ah, that's tough.
And that's just because like I yacked on the 4th. Like I drank way too much. And I like my girlfriend like climbed on top of me while I was laying on a couch. And I just immediately got queasy. And I was like, fuck, I'm going to throw up. And like, I don't know. A lot of people, I think, I don't know. I get like a salty taste in my mouth, and like a ton of spit like comes into my mouth if I'm about to throw up. And I'm like, and that night I felt it. The instant that she like fucking touched me, dude, I was instantly like, this is not going to turn out well. And I was so plastered. All I could do was put my hand over my mouth, and I vomited through my fucking hand. Oh, and I was still on the couch laying back. I couldn't fucking move. I just throw my arm up because I was like, fuck. And I just yak on my head, and it spills everywhere. It gets all over my fucking face. I have to like go to the bathroom, like wash all my shit. I have to change my shirt.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
My girlfriend makes me clean it all up. And then
while you were that drunk?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
And then the next morning they made me take it all home and wash it at home. Because their washer or dryer like blows ass.
Damn, that's not great. Back during quarantine, when school wasn't happening, my best friend just once in a while, just randomly, he gets a 12-pack of beers, just a case of beers, and like we just drink it between the two of us and like play video games for a night. And usually I would only drink like 5, and then he would drink 7. And every time he would call me a bitch, and every time he would throw up. And it became a very like clear ritual for the two of us of like we would hang out, we'd like, and he's bigger than me, so like it makes sense for him to drink more than me. But like it was so funny because every single time he was like, bitch, you can't handle your alcohol, and then like he's in the toilet, and he would always fucking miss, and I'd have to clean it up because good friend like that.
You'd fucking miss,
except for he'd miss the toilet. He'd hit like the toilet seat.
Every single time I've ever made it to the bathroom, I haven't missed. Like I pull up the toilet seat, and I put my like chin like on like the inside of the rim, and I'm like, all right, we're good to go.
That's what you think you do. That's what you should do, but he just wouldn't. But there was one exception to that rule, which was we were celebrating his birthday. So it was like May 7th. It was a little after his birthday. And we didn't have time to get beers. And so we just drank shots of vodka. And it's a lot easier to drink a lot of shots of vodka. And so I probably drank I remember drinking 12, almost definitely drank more.
What, 12?
And
12
that night,
shots.
yeah. And I remember throwing up a lot. And the next morning, I had the worst hangover I've ever had in my life. And I was dead for just the entire day, just throwing up the entire day. And like I felt like death. And even still, like whenever I think of vodka, I feel sick because of that night.
That's a bummer.
I have since then gotten drunk off of vodka again, but you know, it's still
Yeah.
the memory.
Well, I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about Guinness. I remember, was it one night we were in Mexico on vacation with my grandparents, and for some reason they had an Irish pub. I don't know why. I can't imagine there are a ton of Irish people that like.
Wait, where were you? In Mexico?
Yeah. It was like this weird like tourist trap,
Okay.
and they had an Irish bar, and I was like, all right, let's go there, because why not, right? Didn't speak a lick of English, and they were serving warm Guinness. You ever had a warm Guinness?
No, it
Bro,
doesn't sound good
it's
though.
so bad. It tastes so bad. I had 5. I had 5 pints
Why?
that night. Because we're in Mexico, dude. I love Guinness. I like it. I like it for one reason, and it's well. First, I like it for 2 reasons. First, because it's like I feel the most iconic like Irish beer, and
Sure.
then the second reason is my dad once told me, when the world's fallen apart around you, you drink a Guinness, and the world will start to fall out of you. And I thought that was hilarious. Because
What does that even mean?
it means have a Guinness when you're sad, and it'll give you diarrhea. That's what it means. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude, I love that shit. I love that idea. And then the fact that they really only serve it in pints, like it's like kind of one of their most popular forms of serving Guinness is like a whole pint, like not like a 12-ounce can, like
Yeah.
a tall boy. And
Classy.
yeah, I enjoy that. And then they usually Guinness has like they have these like some kind of like nitrogen pack inside that causes it to like foam like you're pouring a beer out of like a dispenser. That's pretty cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They are
but
foamy.
after I think after I was like halfway through number 4. I was like, oh, I felt it in my mouth, and I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And so I go to the bathroom. There's like 2 guys in there, and there's like one bathroom stall. And so I go in there, and I lock the door behind me. And I'm like, then I yak all this black shit out because that's what Guinness is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go to the bar and I finish my drink and I get another one. It's how much I like Guinness, dude. It's like weird.
You're making room for more, man.
Oh yeah.
Making room for more.
I mean, they also have a third saying about Guinness, and that every pint has a pork chop in it. It's a really filling beer.
Oh, okay.
And
That one's not as funny.
yeah, it's not as funny. Definitely not as funny, but it's cool too. It's probably why I kind of threw up, because I
Ate a pork chop.
3.5 pints of 3.5 pork chops.
It's a bit. It's definitely a bit. Every single on those nights, whenever me and my friend would get a case, we would always start by shotgunning the first one. And shotgunning a beer, same with the one keg stand I did, just terrible.
It's just not an
Like
enjoyable experience, It's like
not. You just feel gross.
you pop the thing and you put your lips to the fucking point where you pop, then you crack the can. I don't understand the point of cracking the can. Like, does it
It's so
help
that
air come
it's
out?
yeah. So like I could get very sciencey on this, but
Do it.
basically it makes it
Do
so
it.
that the liquid can come out super fast.
Nah,
Okay, fine, I'll do
sciencey.
it. All right. You know, whenever you're drinking out of a water bottle, like and you tip it up and you get that glug 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 thing. The reason why that happens is for any liquid to come out of the bottle into your mouth, you have to replace that volume with air. That's just
Right.
a general thing because otherwise it'd be a vacuum and that's not bad or that's not good. So, if you try to regularly chug a beer from like the top, you get that glug 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 thing. You gotta let air go through. That wastes time. Anytime you're spending putting air into the can is time that beer is not coming out of the can. So when you pop the hole at the bottom, if you try to drink straight from it, you'd still have to do the glug 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 thing. So when you tip it and you open it from the top, air can come in from the top. And so liquid's just pouring out from the front. There's no two-way thing from that hole. It's just liquid out here, air in from there.
The other reason I hate shotgunning is because I can't. I don't know. I don't know if I can stick my. I have like a super strong gag reflex. Like when I'm brushing my teeth, I like double over if I start brushing my tongue. Like I'll literally like my body will physically like fucking retch forward. And so I can't I just can't swallow that much beer and I can't shut it off, so I can't just like let it glide down my throat. So so my problem is I can't fit a whole beer in my mouth.
That would make it a bit harder.
Right?
The
And so
gag reflex.
what is it? Last time I did a shotgun, I've only ever done one, and I found it like embarrassing and extremely like just not a good time for me because I spilled like half the thing on the fucking ground. Just not knowing how to fucking do it. And I was just like, my friends who were there, they were all like, "What the fuck? You don't know how to do this shit." I'm like, "No, I don't drink beer.
Ian, the thing you
When I
do
do
next
drink beer, I
time,
drink Guinness, and you don't shotgun a fucking Guinness."
just stab a hole in the glass, it just shatters.
No,
The,
they serve it in cans.
the thing you do next time, whenever you're shotgunning, you shotgun like half of it, or just as much as you can drink, and then you throw the can at the ground as hard as you can, preferably like stomp it, and just make everyone think you drank the whole thing. Just lie. Just have a half empty can of beer on the floor. No
Leave it
one will
there.
ever know.
Don't pick
It's
it up.
genius. There'll be so much beer on the ground anyway. All of it will spill out. No one will know. That's not true. Everyone will know. But it's really funny.
Yeah. Did you do that? You got caught?
No, I drink the whole thing because I'm not a bitch.
Ah.
But in my spirit org, we did like superlatives, and one of them every year is most likely to shotgun half of a beer and then throw the can on the ground. It's a great
Real quick,
one.
let me first thing ever for a podcast, I'm gonna stand up. This is the first time. I'm going to show you how bad my gag reflex is. Hold up. Let me go get my toothbrush.
Look forward to it.
So this is my toothbrush. It tastes bad, and I need a new one.
Okay.
But you see, I like. Oh, fuck. You know. Now my eyes are watery.
Ian, I just watched you shove a toothbrush down your throat.
Yeah, I had to show you how about my gag reflex. I could not suck dick.
You made me.
I could not suck dick.
Participant in that.
Huh?
You forced that on to me. You forced me to be a participant in that. I did not ask for that.
Well, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth, man. Oh, I could probably just do it sitting. Should I do it again?
You could. Not gonna.
All right,
I can't stop.
let's move on. I kind of want to talk politics. You want to talk politics?
I'll talk politics.
You'll talk politics? Okay. Who won the vice president debate?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it? Okay.
I didn't watch it. I saw random people on Fox News saying that Pence destroyed Harris. But that's all I've seen about the debate.
I think a lot of conservatives definitely think Pence had a stronger showing. I don't think so. I think they're both just kind of dodging around questions. Pence had a fucking fly on his head.
Funny story about that. I watched the debate live for like 5 minutes, and I turned it on and I looked and I was like, what the fuck is on Mike Pence's head? Like, what is that? And I Googled it, what's on Pence's head during the debate? And I was like, oh shit, this is live. Like, nobody, I was like, what is going on? And like days after I heard there was a fly on his head, I was like, oh, that's what it was. That was cool.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just I don't feel it was a very strong showing from either side. Pence really kind of, at least in the beginning, that's kind of what I zeroed in on, and I kind of got bored after a while. His like main point, at least in the beginning, was that all of Biden's policies seem like copy pastes to him and like straight plagiarism, and then he references like Biden's old plagiarism scandal from college. It's kind of a low blow, or I don't know if it's college, but Biden has like a weird plagiarism thing in his history. Did you watch the presidential one?
Yeah, I did watch the presidential one.
Okay, did you watch the first president? Do you remember the Hillary versus Trump one? Did you watch it after?
Jen, I vaguely remember the Hillary versus Trump one.
So, I mean, there are main two differences. There are like two main differences I feel that at least the beginning of the debate had, like, with the Hillary versus Trump debates. First off, I know it's COVID, and so I know that I kind of understand why they didn't shake hands before the debate, like pose for a picture. Mm-hmm. But even in the fucking like in the Hillary versus Trump debates, or in the first debate at least, the moderator gave each person 2 minutes at the top of the debate to explain like what they were gonna do, and both Hillary and Trump took at least the first 15 seconds to like compliment the other and like show that they're being cordial, you know? But in this one,
I didn't remember that. That's crazy.
Fucking the guy just starts and he just drops kind of a loaded question on Trump. Like the start of it, I feel at least, because Trump did get the first opportunity to talk, but it was the first part of the question was, y'all do not have what you say that you like have. You guys don't have a plan to like help deal with this insert problem here. And Trump was like, I bet he was probably like taken off a little bit, because I thought it was supposed to be a bipartisan debate. I thought it was supposed to be like, or not bipartisan, but like nonpartisan. What do you think about like, at least that first question? What do you think about that interpretation of why? Because I think that's kind of what threw Trump into like the badger that he because he just fucking didn't stop talking throughout the rest of the debate. Yeah. And I think he was just mad. And I think that first question really set him off.
I didn't know what's the name of the moderator again?
I'd have to look it up. Generic white guy number 7.
Yeah. So that guy, I didn't know who he was, and like seeing the debate, I was like, so this is like a CNN guy, right? Like this, it seemed like this dude was just shitting on Trump, and I was like, okay, then they'll balance it, and like the next one they'll get like a more conservative moderator. That guy's a Fox News host.
Really?
Yeah, he's a conservative guy, like a pretty heavily conservative guy.
right? But
which freaking shocked me.
and then did
Because
you
like
see he
it
was kind
doesn't
of like
seem that way.
feeding Biden like different ideas on how to like the guy would the moderator would interrupt Biden in the middle of like talking points and be like, no, but I was talking about this, and it's like, are you like, he would ask for like confirmation and stuff, and then so what do you think about like that? I do feel that and I actually have, I've seen a lot of people talk about it like on YouTube. I've seen um I watched the entire Ben Shapiro podcast about it that he did, the Ben Shapiro show about it, and he didn't he was shitting on the moderator like the whole time, but he didn't, I don't think he once referenced that this guy was like a known conservative, which I think was really weird because the showing that we got at the debate was extremely like one-sided, you know.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, or I felt like it was that way too, but like I don't know why. Like it shouldn't have been. But also like I don't know, I think it has a lot to do with Trump as a person. Like in general, there's a lot of questions about him and his leadership and like a lot of things like what do you know, what do you not know that are just unanswered. And so I guess that there are more just questions for Trump and he just kind of hangs himself. Like there's a good way to answer the questions that he was given and he just didn't. Like, he didn't shut up was one thing. Like that honestly would have been better.
So what do you think? What do you think about the biggest flop of the night? The biggest Trump
flop of the night. It's got to be the white supremacist one.
Yeah,
right?
that was Trump's biggest flop during the night. He fucking didn't know.
Stand back and stand by.
Proud Boys. He referenced a group that has been labeled alt-right by the media time and time again. It seemed like a bad group to like kind of call by like name drop. It didn't seem like a great group to name drop. I mean, it's better than saying Ku Klux Klan, stand back and stand by, but like it's not a great look. I've gone.
You see, they adopted that as their slogan, or
yeah,
their slogan.
Yeah, I saw it. Like made Facebook posts. I've seen a lot of Instagram posts. No, you haven't seen the other one, but I've seen a lot of. There's one point at like the very beginning of the debate where Mike Pence is like interrupting Kamala Harris during their debate, and she's like, "Excuse me, I'm speaking," and for some reason that was like latched onto as like a point of like defiance, I think, towards Pence, and I think that's how it's kind of been like grabbed. I don't know. It seems weird. Like it's just it's like, and she told the dude to shut up basically, and she's getting like, and people are like latching on to those words and like making them seem like they're important. What do you think about that kind of concept?
I don't know. I mean, like I don't know the context that was used in, but also like that kind of just seems stupid to me. I'm like, right. Joe Biden actually said, "Will you shut up, man?" to Trump, and if she was just like, "I'm talking, don't talk over me," that seems like a pretty normal thing to say. Are people like mad about it, or is it just like a?
No, I mean, I think people like conservative media is like just as confused as you are. Like it doesn't seem like a strong point at all to like anybody except for the people who are Harris supporters. Let's kind of talk about what here. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back talking about the debates. I feel like I've been talking a lot actually. Let's get your opinion on the first one. How do you think it went? Let's an all-encompassing kind of overview of your opinion on it.
I think Biden did exactly the thing that he needed to do, and Trump did exactly the thing he shouldn't have done. I think Donald Trump's basically whole thing is feeding off of a crowd And, like being that, like, answer the question, Joe, answer the question, Joe, that kind of works if there's a crowd and the crowd can kind of like egg that on too. Or like, like it reminds me of in the Trump Hillary debate, whenever he was like, you would be in jail, and like the crowd kind of cheers at that point. Like things like that is where Trump he's really good at it. And he kind of tried to do that same thing, but without an audience. And so it kind of felt like there were two people there to do a job, a very specific job. And he was just like the kid running around and like, no, screw your rules. And like, he didn't seem stable, basically. And Biden was the exact opposite. He seemed extremely stable, like presidential. He seemed presidential. And that was, I think, personally huge.
Yeah.
That's how it came across to me.
Worked well for him. Yeah, I can see that. I think the debate was definitely, in my opinion, more of a Trump kind of losing his shit point than it was a Biden really gaining any. And I think that's really how Biden's been playing it. Really slow, like not a lot of coverage. He's just been in his house. Like he's laying low because, or what people think is because he's showing so much, and that's why nobody fucking likes him.
Yeah.
And it's like, and so Biden's just doing the opposite of what Trump does, and conservative reporters are like, oh, he's hiding, he's fucking scared. And it's like, well, I don't know, this seems kind of strategic. Like Biden doesn't need to do a lot of talking if Trump is continuously shooting himself in the foot.
Yeah,
right?
No, exactly. Like so Trump is just hanging himself, and Biden is just like, all right, I'll let you. Like, I'll just sit back.
What do you
Trump
think?
Yelling about how he gets Biden arrested. I don't think that looks good for him.
Right. What do you think about, what is it? The Trump during that debate made some comments about Biden's sons. I don't want to jump into that, actually. I don't remember enough about it. Big question, though. I'm not going to ask you who you're voting for, but so we'll talk about the stimulus check that Trump was talking about, and then we'll talk about that. The stimulus check that Trump was talking about the other day was, there's one that is currently waiting for a vote, and Trump says that if he's reelected, it'll come just as soon as he's reelected, right? But if he's not reelected, then it's not going to get done during his presidency, is what he said, basically, right? And so he's essentially said that he's wanting to withhold a stimulus check from Americans when, honestly, everybody's feeling the effects of, like, I feel like a lot of the workforce is kind of tight. I think at the beginning of COVID, there were a ton of people who were like wanting to work and things like that. And I think that a lot of companies were trying to hire more people, like after their initial like shutdown. As soon as states started reopening, they kind of like, because at least on Indeed.com, they added a new category that you could like search in, and it's like basically saying that the employer has like an expedited hiring process right now. So they're trying to just like to get as many people in as they can, or like get people in as fast as they can. What do you think about Trump withholding or saying something like that could be interpreted as he's withholding the bill?
I think it's a really stupid move. Like the thing he did well is the economy. Is he helped the economy and jobs and things like that. And he's very specifically saying, hey, fuck the economy. Right. I'm not going to help until either you can take it as a couple ways. You can take it as a threat, like he's threatening the American people of like, hey, if you don't reelect me, I'm not going to help you with the economy. And Americans don't like threats. We're not a huge fan of that. Like, and so like I could see that turning a lot of people, or like turning people away from him. And then you can also see it as just, even if you don't see it as a threat, like see it in the best possible circumstances, it's still, why aren't you doing the one thing that we expect you to do? Like the reason that we elected you, like the reason we hired you was to fix the economy, and you're not doing it. What the hell?
Right.
So I don't see why. Well, I mean, so he's doing it because of he stopped the stimulus talks specifically because of he wanted the Senate to focus on getting through the judge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like I mean like that kind of makes sense, but at the same time, like I feel like more Trump
Doesn't make a
voters
ton
would
of
care
sense to
about.
me because even after Biden, if Biden becomes the presidential elect, Trump is still the president. Like, I don't really understand the issue that the floor is like providing. Like, just because someone new is elected doesn't mean that Donald Trump like doesn't or like him putting this new conservative judge doesn't won't represent a certain amount of people that currently think that doing this would be a good idea, right? Like the president, everything he
I
does.
think it's a
Yeah.
I think it's a general thing against just like the will of the people. Like the people had spoken. And so like if he gets voted out and the election results say he was voted out, and then the senators, like the conservative senators and Trump still go ahead, I bet a ton of those senators would lose seats.
Would
Because like
lose their
that's a really shitty thing to do whenever you're lame ducks at that point. Like whenever the people have spoken and said, "Hey, we don't want you anymore," you make a permanent decision like that. And I think it would be political suicide for a lot of the people in the Senate, like a lot of those conservative seats. So I can imagine more people,
well,
hopping off the
I
train and
think I
being like,
really
"Okay,
disagree because Hillary won the popular vote, and that was the argument when Trump first took over. He's not my president, right? But Hillary won the popular vote. And so even if Trump like loses, like so you could argue from that point of view, Trump didn't have the will of the people either because he lost by a few million votes. And he only won
but the
because
people."
of the electoral college states that he won.
But yeah, but the people who voted for him did believe that it was the will of the people. The people who voted for him believed in the electoral college, and so they were fine with it. I mean, yeah, liberals thought it was bad, but that's not the point. The point is, if like a lot of conservatives, they would see like, hey, Trump got voted out, and like they still went ahead with this. That's really terrible. And I could see a lot of like conservative people being like, you lost, like you said these same things to the liberals like 4 years ago. You lost, deal with it. And like now you lost and you're not going to deal with it. Like you're going to kind of play dirty. I don't know. It seems like something that would upset a lot of people. A lot of conservatives is the important part, or at least yeah, conservatives, because um, it's more about the Senate at that point and them keeping their seats, because that's the number one thing that's important to them, right? Is anyone in Congress, is they're just trying to get reelected, and if it would hurt them their reelection chances, they're not going to do it.
Well, it depends
And you'd only
on
need like 3 people to switch.
the thing is Trump still represents the will of the Republican Party. Like the RNC could have totally like dissolved their relationship with him if they really thought that he wasn't like a worthy contender for president, and or if they just didn't want him to run as a Republican, they could have cut ties and made him like forced him to run as an independent. He already has a huge Republican base. He can run as an independent this year. Like if that's how he was running his campaign, I think that I don't know. I think a lot of people would get lost, and I think he would lose a lot of votes because I think a lot of people who voted for him voted down, like at least initially, were voting down party lines,
Mm-hmm.
and it's such a shit way to vote because
Or
it's just a shit way to vote because then it's like what are you going to do when you have someone in the office who's the Oval Office who's saying shit you don't believe in, but you voted for it because it has your little party's animal next to his name. Well, because the elephant trunk go, you know, that's why I vote for Trump. Is that the idea? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it is. The parties make it easier for the person who doesn't want to think. They say, okay, I know I like the Republicans more than I like the Democrats, or I know I like the Democrats more than the Republicans. I pick donkey, I pick elephant. And that's it. And you don't have to think. And I mean,
why are
later,
two
you know,
dumbass fucking animals to represent the American political ideology? That's so
also very
stupid.
weird.
Dude, there's not an elephant in the wild in America. There might be like one that like some guy illegally brought in as a pet, and he just had to let go because it was an African
Let
fucking,
it go.
it was just this massive African elephant that started just fucking tearing down shit in his fucking farm, and it was like, all right, we gotta drop him in the woods or something. But like,
Besides that, no, that's a good point. But
and I don't know. It's just, I think,
also later for those same people, later after I'm sure there are people who voted Trump and then Trump took office and then actually did things and said things and they went, oh no, like fuck, what did I just do? Um, oh damn it, I had a point. I don't remember the point anymore. Oh, right. Those people. No. Okay, I lost it. It's whatever. I don't remember. Go ahead and say the thing that you were gonna say.
why do you think people like? I first of all, I don't understand. Like, I think I made that pretty clear with my last statement about the elephant donkey being fucking. Donkeys are ugly. Donkeys do not look appealing.
And they're stupid.
Yeah, and they're dumb as shit. Like,
Notoriously stupid animals.
they literally are just for like fucking taking on heavy weights to move them across long strands or like sets of land. But I think that it's very interesting that they chose the elephant and the donkey, because I don't understand how you get from like, I don't know how you market an elephant to represent like conservative values, and I don't know how you could play a donkey as like that. And I think it really is an indication of kind of a lot of the like superfluousness of society, right? Like, it doesn't even matter. But if I was going to AutoZone today, and on the way, I saw this big ass truck where they had like welded together a fucking like 5 foot tall, maybe 3 feet wide elephant that they just put in the back of their truck, and they were driving around with it and waving Trump Pence flags. It's why do you think people are so interested in categories, like, and choosing like things that to signify, like, why do you think we're so interested in symbols and categories?
It's tribalism. It's what made humans humans. It's our best and worst qualities at the same time. Or it was our best quality and now it's probably our worst one.
Right.
Tribalism is what let us make communities and in civilization. And the Cold War, weird segue, but like the Cold War was one of the most rapid development, one of the periods with the most rapid development of technology and quality of life in history. Or no, it was because it was a dick measuring contest, because we had that tribalism, because we wanted to be better than the other people. And
Right.
at some point it stopped really mattering, like, what the other people actually think or believe. And it's just, we are better than them.
And
And
that almost sounds like the arrogance of a pre-industrial society. Like, if we look back in time, in Chinese, China is called Zhongguo, which means middle country. But what is it? They they thought that their emperor was, or in and they call Japan
oh
this.
no,
You good?
Oh, you froze for a minute. I
Yeah,
heard China was called middle country, and then you
China was
froze,
called middle
and I made a
country,
weird face.
but in their literature, they see China as providence, right? And it's kind of the same as you go down like the even in like Europe, you had the divine right of kings, right? Where it's like
Yeah.
kings aren't just like chosen at random. It's an act of God that puts this man above everyone else, and that's where in English kings would use when formally speaking they would use the term we when like decreeing something, meaning him and God are together on this. They're like, ah, yeah. He went to prayers. He went to pray the other night, and he was like, God, what do you think about this idea? And God was like, and then they, isn't that ridiculous though? It's like,
You okay, man?
yeah, I'm good. But that's so ridiculous that's like the mindset that we have now, right? Like that our ideas
Yeah.
are as obvious to us as like as universal truths as the people in like pre-industrial societies and monarchies thought almost the exact same way, well, in regarding like their ideology, right?
Yeah.
And
No, I
that's
mean we're the same human. Like
right.
we haven't evolved since like several thousand years in the past, but like we just have more fancy tools. But like our brains work the same way.
Well, on average we're taller
That's true. But,
because
you know,
a larger population stopped being like super impoverished because that's how they divided it. I don't know. I think
point still stands.
yeah.
In here,
Don-
we're all still.
right. Donkeys look dumb. That's the point.
That's the point.
That's the point.
That is
That's the main
that's
point.
the tip.
The
Yeah.
Democrats should change their animal to like a turtle or something. Turtles are cool as shit. They got shells. They swim pretty quick. They live in like
Dude, that should be
ponds.
that should be the Republicans. You got Mitch McConnell, who already is a turtle. Like, you see that man's neck? It just actually looks like a turtle.
But elephants are cool. maybe the Republican Party and the Democratic Party should switch mascots. The Democrats and the Republicans should switch mascots, and then the Republicans should change from a donkey to a turtle.
Okay.
So it's
I'll
a turtle
accept that.
versus, and it could be
no,
like
okay, I'll take it.
it could be like one of those like massive island turtles from old like mythology from like
Sure.
pre Christian domination of the world society where they had like cool shit, you know.
That works. That works.
Like I don't know, I think that'd be cool. All right, I think we're gonna wrap this up here, Seth. I think one thing we do before the end of every podcast is ask the same question. What you got going on? What you doing later that's fun? Like later this week, later next week? You do anything with the girl that's at your house?
That's to be determined.
It's to be determined.
Not gonna talk about that though.
The fun thing is to be determined.
Yeah, maybe. I got a guitar, or not got a guitar. There's been a guitar sitting at my house for like 5 years, and it's always been missing a string, and it's just been sitting in this one room. And I brought it with me to Austin, and so I think tomorrow I'm gonna go to some guitar store, get that string, get it attached to the guitar, and try to learn how to play guitar.
You gonna like enroll in a class next semester? You made a promise to someone? Who did you promise? Who did you promise that you were gonna learn the guitar?
I don't remember his name, I'll be honest. It was a random dude, and it's not a promise. It was a challenge. He challenged me to learn guitar, and he gave me the time limit of my entire life. Well, it was a specific song, but got to learn guitar, then you can learn the song. But the time limit on the challenge was I have the rest of my life to do it. So Might as well get on that now.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I've got going on.
Perfect. Well, it's been a lot of fun. To all viewers watching, please leave a comment if you found any of this engaging or interesting, or you just have something to say. Leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and have a good day.